Is the Veolia-Suez merger at risk? Well, at least there's a new contender in the ring, the French Financial Justice. And the party under the spot is neither Suez nor Veolia specifically. It's no less than the French presidency, represented by the General Secretary of the Élysée Palace, Alexis Kohler. The lawsuit was initiated by Suez's unions and tried to clarify if Veolia, Engie and Meridiam's top management colluded with the French presidency as a catalyst to initiate and facilitate the sale of 29.9% of Engie's shares in Suez to Veolia. All that lawsuit started just before the summer, but it was widely under the radar until Friday's leaks in the French press. Can it have consequences? That's hard to tell. Let me come back to that. Now, honestly, are we really supposed to be surprised that the French presidency got involved in the potential merger of two of the largest French companies, one of which was partially under the direct control of the state as a shareholder? Because beyond the relative size of the groups, that's not tremendous on the global scale of things. Suez and Veolia together manage the water of 60% of the French inhabitants, and we all know how political the topic of water can be. Plus, if you recall the former episodes of the drama, we've covered how Prime Minister Jean Castex and the Minister of Finance Bruno Le Maire had influenced the beginning of that story. And if we look a bit further in the rich history of both rivals, every single time their merger was in the air, you could trace it back to an influential member of the government somehow advocating for it. The first example of that comes to mind is when Jean-Louis Borloo almost became the CEO of Veolia instead of Antoine Frérot after having worked through his various government roles at a possible takeover of Veolia by Suez. I do know I'm making a long story very short, but it's such a rich drama. So back to our lawsuit. Will it have consequences? Well, if it has to come fast, because the teams in charge of the merger are not sitting on their hands. Following Veolia's tender offer on Suez end of July, the European Commission's competition authorities have given a provisional deadline that expects to rule the case by the end of November, which could lead to closing the deal by the end of the year. Meanwhile, on the future mini Suez, things are moving as well. Meridiam, Veolia and Suez have officially signed the agreement that will create a new Suez, roughly 40% the size of the former one, with water assets in France, Italy, Central Europe, Africa, Australia, and parts of Asia, on top of a couple of additional activities in France. Some top managers have left Suez, like Christophe Cros, Kevin Cassidy or Jean-Marc Boursier, and the soon-to-leave CEO Bertrand Camus has a rumored replacement ready to take over in the person of Sabrina Soussan, the current CEO of Dormakaba. In conclusion, that lawsuit seems to pop up a bit late. I'm not a lawyer, and if one of you watching this is one, please share your opinion in the comments. It sounds like something that at worst may have personal repercussions on some of the actors of the drama. So I'd be really surprised if it was to slow down the process again, like the poison pill or the series of lawsuits that addressed the wrong jurisdiction in the recent past. Anyways, if you love that merger story, check out the previous episode here. And if you'd rather jump into the scary closet of Suez and Veolia's failed mergers, have a look here. I'm pretty sure though this wasn't the last episode of the drama, so see you soon.